Hi guys, Rob from Rob's Model Cars, and today I'm going to show you the process of how I strip paint off a die-cast car body. Now I've got a Hot Wheels Elite Ferrari F12 body here. Now I'm going to do a custom model here and I want to repaint the model, so rather than just add more layers of paint to this already painted die-cast body, I'm going to use a paint stripper product and strip this back to bare metal. And then that way when I finish my customization I can then put a brand new paint finish on this body and not affect any of the door gap lines and having issues with paint getting ripped off the edges of doors. So there's a few things that you need for this process. So first I use just this big commercial kitchen metal tray which I do all the paint stripping in. That contains all the mess and it can be washed out as well when I've finished. Now safety first with paint stripper, so you do need a nice thick pair of rubber gloves so that when you're handling the model and the paintbrush you don't get any paint stripper on your skin because it will burn your skin. Secondly, you need a small paintbrush. Now I've got this size paintbrush because it'll actually fit inside the tin of the paint stripper. I'll also use a toothbrush so that once the paint stripper starts to work I can scrub this across and get most of the paint off. And the paint stripper I use is actually an automotive water-based paint stripper. Now I find this a lot easier being a water-based because it's easier cleanup of the paintbrushes and the toothbrush, but also once the paint stripper has eaten most of the paint away off the die-cast metal car body, I can use the garden hose over the dirt patch. Never wash it down your stormwater drain. Think about the environment when you use this stuff. And they're basically the main things I use. Now I do also wear safety glasses so you don't get any paint stripper in your eyes and cause a trip to the hospital. And I also use a breathing mask also. Now some of the other solvent-based paint strippers actually are a lot more dangerous to use and they require a solvent to wash the body as well. That's why I like to use this water-based product because, as I say, I can use the garden hose and just tap water and wash the bodies clean once all the paint stripper has done its job. So I'll get my safety gear on and we'll get started, and I'll show you how we strip the die-cast body from its original paint. Okay guys, so now we'll make a start and we'll start applying the paint stripper onto a paintbrush, and I just basically liberally brush it all over the die cast body. Now this will take around 10-15 minutes to start working and start peeling the paint. In some areas it does work a little bit quicker, so it just takes a bit of time to go over the whole body and just brush it on. Now I should also mention that you really need to do this in a well ventilated area. I'm doing it in the garage, but I do also have the doors and windows open. So you've just got to apply it over all of the body. It is quite messy stuff, that's why we wear the gloves and do it in this metal tray so that any of the drips and drops fall in the tray and you don't have to clean up your bench or your floor later on. So there are areas, I'll show you in a minute, they are starting to peel the paint off already. I do a couple of layers of paint on these Hot Wheels Elite models. Some spots come off a lot easier than others. So you can see here on the roof here how it's starting to wrinkle all the paint already, and you can see the shiny silver metal coming through. So as I say, some areas of the model the paint will lift straight away, other areas might require a second go. So you can see there on the side, just with that paintbrush already, it's eaten the paint clean off the side of the front panel there. So what we'll do, I want to do bits underneath as well. You don't have to do that because most of the parts you don't see, but I just like to be pretty thorough and strip most of the paint off these bodies. And then pretty much all we have to do now is wait for that paint stripper to react and strip it all off. Now there are other parts of the model also that I want to do, so you do them all at the same time. We've got the bonnet here as well, so we'll apply some paint stripper to that also. As I say, you can be quite generous with the paint stripper, it will work a little bit faster. The bonnet I do want to paint the underside, so I strip these parts on both sides. I do it at the same time, it doesn't really matter. Just sit that to the side. And we've also got the rear hatchback as well, so I'm going to strip that also. I have already done the doors, so I don't have those to show you, but you get the idea just from these couple of pieces and the body. Again, this will be painted both sides, so I apply the paint stripper to both sides. And then just sit that in the metal tray and basically let the rest of that paint stripper do its work. So we'll let that sit for around 10 to 15 minutes and then we'll come back and we'll see how much of all this paint has been lifted off the metal body. Okay guys, now that's been sitting for about 10-12 minutes, and now I'll use my toothbrush and basically scrub all of the body. Now you can see that the paint is coming off very easy. The paint stripper's done its job in most places. There are going to be some spots that will require a second treatment of paint stripper, but you can see that it does the job very well, and the small toothbrush just enables to get into all the little crevices and cracks, which is what you want. You want to get all of that paint off the body. And you can see that it's removed most of the paint. As I say, it will need a second treatment in some spots, but we'll look at that in a minute. So imperative to have your safety gear on here. And you can see that most of the paint has come off this body. So next stage I will go outside and I will use the hose with tap water and I will rinse this body clean, and then I'll come in and give it another go. Same as the bonnet here, you can see most of the paint just comes off after about 10 minutes of soaking, and it just comes back to the raw die cast part. Go on to the back as well, remove most of that. And there are some stubborn spots that don't come off first time and they will need a second go. So you can see most of the paint has come off that part. Same as the hatchback as well. Nearly all the paint's coming off that. And the good thing about the metal tray is you can see that all the paint stripper and the old paint is getting caught by this metal tray. So most of the paint's come off that, as you can see. So what we'll do, I will go out and I'll rinse this body, and then we'll bring it in and we'll apply a little bit more paint stripper to the stubborn areas where the paint hasn't come off, and then repeat the process and we'll go and rinse that again. Okay guys, so now you can see that most of the paint has been removed by the paint stripper. There are a few little areas on the inside of the door jamb and around the firewall area here, a couple of little spots on the roof and around the windows. So what I'll do, I'll use the paint stripper again and I'll brush it over those areas, and again let that sit for 10 to 15 minutes to eat away at that paint, and then I'll use the paintbrush again to scrub those areas. Now the bonnet, most of the paint has come off, as you can see. There's only a couple of little spots. On the back there's a couple of little areas and around the hinges that still has the paint on there. So again, I'll just do another application of the paint stripper and then rinse it off again, and then we should be good to go. Okay guys, so now you can see I've finished applying the second coat of paint stripper, and that's taken all the little pieces that were stuck in around the windows. This has been rinsed off again with tap water. I do use a bit of pressure when I'm hosing that off, so make sure you keep your safety glasses and your gloves on when you wash all the paint stripper off these parts. And then I just sat them in the sun for 10 minutes just to dry all the water off the body. Now this is the zinc finish that comes out of the die-cast mould when the manufacturer makes these cars, and that's pretty much ready for me to prime with some undercoat, and then I can start my new paint job. So that's the best way. Some people prefer to use a wire brush to scrub the body, but I don't like that. It leaves lots of little fine scratches in the die cast. That's why I use the toothbrush. So that's the body. As you can see, the bonnet, all the paint's completely gone off that. It was only 2 applications of the paint stripper. There's the little hatchback piece as well. Now, I've got some more videos coming with some more useful tips on how to modify die-cast model cars. I hope this has been informative for you, and all I can say is always wear your safety gear when you're doing this sort of job. It's not a hard job. Try and stick to the water-based paint stripper if you can, and you should have no problems removing the paint from a die-cast body. So until the next modelling tip, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I've got a heap more modelling tips for you that might be useful, and thanks for watching.